So I've had my Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus for like a little over 2 weeks now. So here's what I think about it. Okay, first things first, let's talk about how beautiful this phone is. Like, I think it's the prettiest phone out there right now. And I'm not just saying that because it comes in this beautiful purple color. Well, maybe a little bit. But seriously, like, beautiful color aside, this looks and feels like a premium device with like the curved edges on the front and back and the glass on both sides. It's a good looking phone, but with the glass on both sides, it does mean that it's prone to cracking and breaking easier. And I'm guilty of not being the best with my phones. Like, I already see a few little scuffs, and I also had the same problem with the iPhone 10 in the glass back. I tend to just throw my phones in my bag a lot of the times and just not really care about what's inside my bag, scratching up my phone. There's a couple cases that I use for this phone, but I've been loving D-brand skins for it. As much as I love the beautiful purple color in this phone, I also freaking love the white marble skin from D-brand. Like, it just looks so good with everything. I feel like D-brand has a look for everyone and every device out there. So if you guys are interested in their skins, make sure you check out that link in the description below to make your phone look a little cooler and also save it from scratches. But going back to the overall look and design of this phone, I seriously have no complaints. I mean, turning it on, we have no notch. We just have that top bezel, which, I mean, it is preferable over a notch, like, let's be real. And yes, a lot of people don't like that looks-wise, it looks really similar to the S8 and S8 Plus, but I mean, that was a really good looking phone, and so is this. And there is actual refinements to it, like it's not exactly the same. Probably the biggest difference that you'll notice between S8 and S9 is the placement of the fingerprint scanner. Good job, Samsung, on moving that, because it was kind of annoying before. Like, I wasn't really using it on the S8, but now I will actually use it. And coming from the iPhone 10, it's nice to have the option of having one there. But of course, there's other ways to unlock the phone, like with face recognition and the iris scanner. And there's also something that combines both of those called Intelligent Scan to unlock your phone, and that works pretty good too. What I've been doing, I've been keeping on Intelligent Scan and fingerprint scanner, and I still mostly use the fingerprint scanner because it's pretty fast and it's more convenient. And I don't know, I mean, I don't like have to look at my phone to unlock it. I put my finger on there and we're open. The phone overall, hardware-wise, seems to have everything that you could possibly need in a phone. Like, yes, we have the fingerprint scanner. We also have microSD card expansion, headphone jack, USB-C port with fast charging. And speaking of fast charging and battery life and all that, I thought it was pretty funny because the other day somebody came up to me and asked me what the best phone with the removable battery was out right now. And like, I feel like that, yeah, it's not really a thing anymore. Like, yeah, I remember the LG G5 had one. It's probably the last one that I used that had one. And it's cool to think of the days when removable batteries were really a thing. Clearly, this phone does not have removable batteries, but you don't ever really need them anymore. Like, this has a 3,500 milliamp hour battery inside, and it easily got me through the day. Sometimes I would throw it on the wireless charger before the end of the day, which, by the way, is amazing. Like, I love wireless charging in phones, and whenever I use my Google Pixel 2, I miss it all the time because it's just so convenient to put it on a charger. But if you are using a cable, it does have fast charging, which is also super convenient for charging up pretty quick. So overall, battery life wise, I'm pretty happy with it. And now let's talk about the display on this phone, because it's probably my favorite thing on here. Like, it's the fact that Samsung phones have beautiful displays. I like how big it is. I love how bright it gets. It's colorful. Of course, it's AMOLED. The colors, like, they're punchy, but they're not too punchy. I love watching videos on here. I actually went into settings and bumped up the resolution all the way up just to enjoy it even more, even if it does kill my battery a little faster. But yeah, I also love that you can go into settings and customize it to what looks best to you. Like, you can really customize it. And as amazing as the display is, you do have to keep in mind that this is a curved display, which isn't a new thing, but it's just a reminder. And it doesn't really annoy me. Like, yeah, you see glare on the edges, but a lot of the times I barely even notice it. And going back to video watching and just like media consumption on this phone, that's a little bit better on here compared to the S8 because we do have stereo speakers now. So we have speakers on the top here and on the bottom of the phone. And it's not a reason to upgrade if you're on the S8, but it is something to look forward to if you do. And now if I just talk about my experience like using the phone and just performance wise, I really can't think of anything that I'm really disappointed with. Like, it would be nice to have a phone with this build quality with a more stock Android feel to it. But I mean, like, Samsung has been better at keeping things cleaner and nicer looking. There still is like a lot of extra unneeded things to it, but there's also a lot of features like jam-packed into the phone that I actually really love. Like, when I first got it, I just spent hours in settings and just messing around with all that. It's not something that I need in a phone really, but it's really nice to have. And it's also still really easy to navigate around the phone. And I mean, that's just like a straight comparison to the iPhone 10. Like, you don't have to deal with learning swipe gestures or anything like that. We still have those on-screen controls, the home button, multitasking, and the back button. But yeah, other than that, everything is super fast and snappy thanks to those top of the line specs. We gotta talk about Bixby for a little bit because there's a dedicated button for it and I'm not just gonna brush over that. And I mean, do I use Bixby? Not really. I appreciate that it's there and it is useful for certain hands-free things. Like, I found really useful to launch the camera with it, but not only launch the camera, it also like, it can take a photo for you. You could just say, "Hi Bixby, take a photo," and it'll start the timer and just take the photo, which is pretty cool. When you swipe or launch the Bixby screen, there's all these like different cards and there's news, weather, you can customize it, put whatever you want on there. Again, it's not something that's really helpful for me. I do like Bixby Vision with the camera app. You can actually use the camera, point at things, and it can like translate a sign that's in a different language. Or maybe you want to buy a certain object, you could point at it and making an easier way to online shop. So that stuff is pretty cool. Let's talk about camera now, because ultimately that's what I care about most on the phone. And for me to have a good phone experience, the phone needs to have a good camera. And the S9 Plus has a great camera. Photos have great colors and detail, sometimes a little too soft looking, even with no beauty mode on, but it still looks really good. I did a straight comparison video to the iPhone X's camera where I really go in detail comparing photos. And if you're coming from an S8 or S8 Plus, you're definitely gonna see some improvement. S9 Plus now has two 12 megapixel cameras, with one of them having variable aperture. So low light photos are better with more light. Something I didn't talk too much about in that comparison video is the actual camera app on here. It's a little bit cleaner and nicer looking now, and I've been loving its pro mode. Not something that's really new, but I really appreciate it, especially if you really like taking pictures with your phone, because you get to dive into all those settings. And I did talk about this before, but live focus is pretty cool too on here, with its ability to change the amount of blur and switch to the wide angle camera after the picture was taken. Moving on to the more silly things in here is AR emoji, which I still think is a little creepy looking, but I do love seeing the Mickey Mouse ones. There's also this new makeup feature in here that's pretty cool. Like, it lets you try on different makeup products from Sephora, and if you like them, you can just buy it right away. It kind of just looks like a Snapchat or Instagram story filter, so it's a little bit artificial and fake looking. And even though I don't think it's super accurate yet, it'll be cool to see it get better down the road. And overall with the camera, I still do have to compare it to the Google Pixel 2, but overall, yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with it. So after 2 weeks of using this phone, I really like it. I think the biggest thing that was most excited to see before I got it was a second camera, because other than that, everything was kind of expected and just very similar to the S8, which isn't really a bad thing. Like, the S8 was and still is a great phone, so I'm not really disappointed with the lack of changes or upgrades with the S9 and S9 Plus, because I mean, putting it next to all the other phones that are out right now, it's a really great phone. So if you have an S8 and you're thinking about upgrading to an S9 or S9 Plus, unless you really like the color purple, I don't think it's really worth the upgrade, but whatever floats your boat. If you've been using an S9 or S9 Plus, let me know about your experience with it in the comments below. And quick shout out again to D Brand. Make sure you check out that link in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe for more S9 videos, more iPhone videos, more Pixel videos, just more videos. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you later.